With this pandemic changing everything in our lives, with giving us a new perspective on a new normal, from acclimating to life, to dealing with children in schools, to just basically family and business interaction, we sometimes get lost in other things that are going on because this has been so overwhelming, not only to us here in the United States, but to us globally. For some reason, in the last, call it 2-3 months, the amount of contact I've been getting of people coming down with cancer has reached a limit that I've never seen before. One of the things I learned is that my catharsis when I got diagnosed with brain cancer at 39 was to write, to share my perspective, to share my thoughts. It was like vomit. It was getting it out of my system. I never expected anyone to read it. I did it for myself. And I would send these out to friends and family, and they would send them out to friends and family. And you realize that cancer is like buying a car. You buy a car, you leave the lot, you see the car everywhere. The reality is the car was always there. You just never noticed it until you had a direct connection with it. And that's what happened with me in cancer. I was doing this for me. I wasn't doing it for anybody else. But I started to see that my catharsis was to get it off my chest, to write, to speak, to share, because that's that outlet that I needed for all the positivity and optimism that I exhibited. You're pushing stuff deep down into your belly. And no matter what it is, whether it's disease, whether it's cancer, whether it's depression, whatever it's going to be, you have to find an outlet for that at some point. And my outlet became writing and sharing and speaking. The majority of the stuff I wrote at the beginning, I never read. I got it out of my system and boom. And all these people would contact me. Because what I learned is the majority of people, they don't want to share. They want to talk to people who are on a similar path, who are on a similar journey, who understand it from a different perspective. I used to have an issue with people who would treat me like a cancer patient. I was greatly appreciative and thankful for the time they would put in, the checking in on me. But I would hear things like, "Hey pal, how you doing? Don't treat me like that. I'm me. Cancer might be part of my journey, but I own this. And I don't want to be treated like anyone but myself." And it gave me this edge, this rawness, this fight that I brought with me. But something's happened over the last few months. With, like I said, this pandemic being so prevalent everywhere in the world, I feel like I'm getting messages from people every single day all over the world about cancer. And the last 2 weeks, it's really gone to a ridiculous level. I got a message from a good friend of mine who has someone whose father is dying of brain cancer. So we reached out, we connected, we talked to them. The same day, I get a message from someone else who lives a town over from me, whose mom just gets diagnosed with glioblastoma. And you start to realize that things are rolling. Last night, I'm talking to one of my son's baseball coaches. Great guy. We're having a conversation about the fall, talking a little bit about life and getting away from baseball. And he didn't really know anything about me. And next thing you know, I'm finding out about his father with cancer. His wife, who lost a toe due to cancer years ago. This is everywhere. For some reason, it's popping up and popping up. And what I notice is people need support. They're looking for people to give them some type of inspiration, whether it's a story, whether it's a book, whether it's just contact. So the family that reached out to me about their mom getting glioblastoma lives about 4.7 miles away from me. The odds of that are unlikely. Usually it's people in other countries, all over the place. Last night I went over to their house, and their entire family was there. And we just talked, and we just connected. And I shared some of the stories of what I've been going through, and she told me what she's going through. And I was able to connect directly with the mom that we're warriors, and that we're a family of warriors, and we're all here to support each other. And you start to learn that when you can truly support people and be there for them when things are bad, give them some type of positivity and hope, to let them know that this path's been had people on it before. They've traveled on it. You really get a new sense of what motivation and inspiration is all about. So with all the craziness that's going on right now, don't forget about other people that are dealing with other issues, and make sure you're staying intact with them, because the support that you provide to them could be that push they need to take on the battle at hand.